Welcome back to the Heroes Global Championship. We are gearing up for the last European series of the weekend. On our first week, it's been a good week, Calder. What's been your favorite series so far?
My favorite series? Probably Team Liquid yesterday against the others.
Yeah? Went to Game 5?
I would say that it's always a pleasure when a series goes to Game 5, but I also think the way that the games went was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And also on the last map, it might not have been the most action-packed game that they played on Dragonshire, but from a strategical point of view, it was super interesting to see how Team Liquid tried to play around the damage over time from Malthiel, Lunara, from all the poison that came their way with the Uther solo support that they had there. And then the last moment where really that global aspect came into play and their quicker rotation won them the game in the end. So I feel the entire series, there was a lot to learn. It was really entertaining to watch it as well. So Team Liquid versus others would probably be my pick.
That series was quite the nail biter. So if you have the chance, go ahead and check it out. Let's go ahead and check out the standings here for our top 8 teams that are in the HGC. The only team to not play here in Europe will be Fnatic, who is currently 0-0, but that is about to change as they are about to play the Leftovers, who sadly did not have the best debut here at HGC Europe as they lost to Team Liquid with a clean 3-0. In that series, it felt like drafting may have been a slight issue for them. They really prioritized the Johanna, especially in their first couple of games, and the Rhaegar. So we may see some adjustments today when they play. And let's go ahead and check out the schedule here so you can get a feel of what exactly you can watch after the match does conclude. North America will kick off with Gale Force Esports and Team Freedom. Later on, Team 12 and FLM's Esports will be facing off.
Yeah, overall the games today are going to be super interesting on the NA side. For Europe with Fnatic and the Leftovers being the last series of the day, Fnatic is of course the huge favorite in this particular encounter. And I think Leftovers, they have a rough week to start things off with. First of all, it's of course still pretty new to them to get into HGC, to find their rhythm here as well. But then going up against Fnatic, one of the top 2 at the same time.
And Team Liquid.
Yeah, that too. So this is not really an easy opening for them. Then on the other hand, it allows them to gain that experience that they will need when they go up against direct contenders. So that's something in the standings, I mean. So that's something where they at least have a bit of a benefit, a bit of an advantage. Maybe.
Well, they have some insights for us to listen in on as we listen to both of our teams as they drop their opinions on the match.
I think there's the roster swaps in Europe are gonna be, in the long term, they're gonna be very healthy for the scene. I think change was needed for some of the teams to just get a fresh start, restart their mindsets and reset everything.
So for me, my adjustment to Fnatic compared to Expert went very smoothly. I had pretty good contact with most of the players beforehand, so that wasn't an issue. And also several of the things I felt was lacking in Expert were like in abundance in Fnatic instead. So it was a very nice change for me. With acquiring Mene, they got one of the straight up best mechanical players in that role. And with me, I role swapped from the tank role to the melee role to fill Wooby's shoes, kind of, and that was maybe a bit of a gamble for Fnatic since I hadn't showed that experience.
I think Leftovers are gonna be in the bottom tier for sure, because I think it's just so hard to transition from Open Division to HGC and look really good, because it's just at another level.
Roster changes will make the HGC 2018 more interesting for sure, because the teams are kinda new. They don't have that team experience like they had before, and it's gonna be better for later stage. But now it's gonna be a lot of surprises.
Fnatic, I would say they were stronger previous season than they will be this one, so I hope we'll be able to give them some competition.
Being the new team is, people kinda underestimate us. Maybe they don't think we're such strong, so we will use that to our advantage, and I think we can surprise a bit of the teams. Fnatic is the legends.
Winning the series over Fnatic would be a major surprise for the Leftovers, but getting a couple games should be pretty achievable and should probably be their main goal here. Come out, have a good showing, learn as much as you can, especially with it being your first weekend, and make sure that you put up a fight.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like Quacknix put it the best. The transition from Open Division to HGC play is very difficult to handle, especially when you're the newer team. So at this point, it's all about gaining that experience and then transitioning that into wins on the next weekend and against direct competitors. So for the Leftovers, it's definitely a hurdle that they a bit of a tough game now going up against Fnatic. But as long as they take something from these games and put up a good fight, I think they are going to be in a good spot.
It's a bit of a hurdle, but it's time to start sprinting as Battleground #1 is ready to go in this best-of-5 series. And we are heading to Tomb of the Spider Queen. Fnatic with the choice. Old Fnatic, this used to be one of the battlegrounds they went to, and you were terrified to go to this battleground. We'll see if that still remains true with their new roster. For me, I'll be watching Bad Benny, because he did mention it himself in the interview. Filling the shoes of Wubby is some big shoes to fill, especially in a role that you typically did not play in the past. But Bad Benny is a very skilled player, and I imagine that he will do well.
Yeah, the setup for them in general, it changed a lot. In China, for example, they already made a GCWC. A couple of changes at the event itself when it came to drafting, when it came to shot calling, also the roles that they wanted to play. But then afterwards they sat together and said, okay, listen, we need to change a few things up here. We need to put Mene into a different position. Quacknix now on the flex role, and overall also deciding, hey, if we play double support, who flexes into that? So they definitely made a lot of changes to the way that they want to approach the game and they want to play. And it also was something where Quacknix as a leader in particular said, that he needed a break.
Yeah.
And he had a vacation now with his girlfriend for, I think, 2 weeks, and he recharged his batteries. So at this point, we're going to find out if that's enough to have a good start into HGC 2018. The Leftovers is going to be rough for them. We already have a slight change here when it comes to the bans. On Tomb of the Spider Queen, Arthur's taken away by the Leftovers on the first position.
Leftovers not wanting to play against the Arthas. Now, it's a bit dramatically different compared to what they did the other day. They were banning Greymane, Abathur, and they also banned Greymane a second time as well. So, they know something is up possibly here, or they simply don't want to play Arthas on this battleground to Miss Spider Queen because they did not play it on Friday.
Now, I'm going to be honest, I expected Arthas to be more dominant when we came into the season. Overall, Arthas is still played a lot, and he is one of the tanks that the teams heavily rely upon.
Hold the phone.
No Genji ban.
What is this?
This is an adjustment to the map.
I'm not okay with this. This is different.
Different is not good.
What has happened? Leftovers and Fnatic will have the chance here to grab Genji, Hanzo, and Greymane. All three are up and available for our teams.
Yeah, so again, these are heroes that we talked about a lot. When we opened the show today, I already talked a bit about how strong Gul'dan actually looks right now. How he is the best mage that we have when you look at him just from an involvement rate and his win ratio. And Fnatic goes even so far as to ban him out here first. And he, of course, has that added wave clear aspect that really helps him to shine on Tomb of the Spider Queen even more. Arthas I expected to have a higher priority when we came in on Friday, but since then things have shifted a little bit. He's definitely a tank that a lot of the teams respect a lot, but others have taken over the top spot. Leftover still with them going into Greymane. The idea here was really just to get rid of Arthas, let Fnatic probably ban out Genji instead and then go into Greymane, but Fnatic, they went straight for Gul'dan instead, leaving Genji even open. Leftovers, they still get what they want. They get Greymane without having to deal with Arthas, but now, of course, there's still a couple of heroes, as you mentioned, around that we usually see banned out very early on.
Yes, Fnatic moves into the Leoric and the Malfurion. Malfurion, you talked about in the last series, being wonderful in this battleground with the ability to constantly poke, prevent people from turn-ins, but also a majority of his roots stop all of the chokes that are available on this battleground. So you can always section off a team, and we saw it once, actually, on this battleground where we were able to get a kill or two. And the Leoric, he is starting to get higher and higher in priority as we see our higher level teams. Dignitas really showed off the power that he can bring to a team fight.
What I would really like to see is if the Leftovers go for the Wolfpack and choose Greymane together with Rhaegar, that Malfurion specs into the 4 that we've seen earlier, Strangling Vines, just trying to make sure that they can reduce the ancestral value they get. Again, Johanna picked by Leftovers. Now keep in mind that Johanna was 0-5 when we started into the day, and a lot of these stats came also from Leftovers playing her. Dignitas was the first team that was able to get a win with Johanna. Johanna. That was also on Tomb of the Spider Queen, where traditionally she's stronger. Now Leftovers again falling back into Johanna as their main tank, as they did the last time when they played here.
And a great opportunity for her to get another win here with the composition that they have built around her with the Chromie and the Greymane. But it's still Fnatic.
Also, it's so far the same composition that Dignitas played in the last game.
Very true. Okay, Uther is being hovered as a possible ban. Uther pairing well with the Greymane to get those kills that Chromie gets set up.
And also was played last game
yeah.
by Dignitas. So basically Fnatic is looking at this and says, yeah, we like Dignitas draft too, and it was strong for a reason. Let's make sure that Greymane can't be as strong in this particular game. Now ban out Uther so that there is at least a lack of a Divine Shield.
Oh, you guys have Twitch? We have Twitch too! We saw that game! That was awesome! Uther ban coming in here from Fnatic. Leftovers, what will they answer back? It's an immediate Genji ban. Genji taken away here. I feel like...
Genji getting his due.
Yeah.
Like, where's my ban?
Where's the Genji ban? I need to be involved some way here. If you don't ban me, I'm getting picked. Let's see here. Hanzo is up and available. Other damage dealers that could possibly come in that have been featured in the past.
Tanks. I want to see tanks now.
Yeah,
Breeze, what is he going to play? Are we going to see? Do we see the comeback of Diablo? Are they going to head straight into ETC? Which, just to remind you, ETC is now in this current meta the strongest tank, and at the same time, nearly every team at GCWC banned out ETC against Breeze because they simply didn't want to play. In scrims, it was the funniest thing ever. Koreans scrimmed 5-6 games against Fnatic, and in the first or second game they would always allow ETC through. Breeze would body them, and from that point on it was just straight up first bans against ETC every single game.
I wonder if that should be a strategy in the future when they scrim not to play the ETC so they get it in tournaments for the easy wins.
There's the ETC, you know, that's literally what happened every day. The first game against the Koreans or the second game, they would let ETC through, Fnatic would pick it, would win the game handedly, ETC would be at the front line, and then the Koreans would be like, screw this, ETC gets banned again.
Yeah, Breeze needs to watch a little bit more Dragon Ball Z. Go Frieza, hide your power level a little bit until you need to improve. All right, we got Junkrat and ETC on the left and right. For Fnatic, we'll need a little bit more damage as a fifth pick up, but for now, it is a turn for Leftovers on the right side. Here, they're going to need a side laner and, of course, a support. Which support do you want to see, Caldor?
It feels like it's going to be Rega.
Yeah.
The two supports that are currently standing out when Minofurion is already taken away, Uther being banned, are, of course, Lucio and Rega. And with the setup that we have here, Rega would make sense. Again, I want to see the synergy between the level 4 and Malfurion, or the anti-synergy between Rega, if that root can really hit properly. That you.
Tennis.
We had already on one tennis game yesterday. I'm actually really surprised. I came in today and I was expecting you to be the entire time. Do you know what North America did yesterday? Did you see a tennis? Do you know the win rate of a tennis, by the way? It's at 100%. I'm so surprised that you didn't go in on that.
To be fair, my commentary game is off a little bit. Josh yelled at me this morning for talking about Lava Wave too much. So I'm a little bit more reserved in my calls lately.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh, for harming me and attacking my heart and soul and Heroes of the Storm. Keldos is the final pickup here for Fnatic. ETC engage into a KT damage dealer. KT coming in for Mane already, it looks like. Game number 1.
Wait, I thought they picked Kel'Thas, not Kel'Thuzad.
Everyone makes fun of my dumb jokes, but when Caldor says stuff like that, like everyone's like,
okay,
it's so funny.
You need to put that in perspective. For me, as a German, these are fantastic.
They're hilarious jokes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in the wrong environment. That's the only reason why they're not getting appreciated.
In Germany, the entire country would just start laughing the moment
exactly.
you talk. Okay.
All the Germans that are watching right now are just like sitting laughing. Exactly. Have tears in their eyes because, oh my god, this guy should be a comedian.
All right, well, fair enough. Well, let's go into game number 1. Who is going to get the victory here based on draft? If you were to take away the names of the teams, who would you favor?
Immediately Fnatic. I'm not sold on Atanis in that situation. I can get behind Atanis on a battleground, like Battlefield of Eternity, for example, where he has a bit of added value. And in certain situations, I feel he can really make a difference. In this one, I don't really see it. And I feel when I look at what Fnatic has, the only question mark to an extent is maybe Junkrat. But he has the wave clear, he has the chaotic element, and he also has, of course, the interrupt potential against turn-ins. And then you have the combo with ETC Kel'Thas, a deadly combo, which we've known for years. then you figure in the players as well, and you know that Mena loves to play Kael'thas. It's one of his key heroes. So overall, I would say Fnatic's draft, even without knowing who picked it, is just something where I would say this is superior. Yeah, it is a bit bold to pick Artanis into what we've already seen from Fnatic when it was picked. The ETC is a direct counter. With the Blade Dash going in, you can drop the knockback, keep Artanis on the wrong side of the map, and then you have the roots as well. And if Artanis isn't hitting targets, he's dying. Let's go ahead and go into game number 1 here in this best of 5 series, as we'll be doing Tomb of the Spider Queen, Fnatic taking over the Leftovers. Game number 1 in the series, and to the left side we have the Swedes. Fnatic with Quacknix on Junkrat, Bad Benny on Leoric, Smexy on Malfurion, Mena on Kael'thas, that token French guy, and Breeze on ETC. On the right side, in the red, the Leftovers. Podibus will be playing the Artanis, so I'll be keeping an eye on him. Lekini will be playing Chromie, Lobber on Johanna, DAB playing Greymane, and Linked will be your Rhaegar player. So at this point, Fnatic with their first appearance here, and we have a bit of Kael'thas play as well. It's going to be interesting to see how much Mena can contribute to that. I want to see the level 4 talent on Malfurion. So far, every time it was, with one exception, it was mostly about trying to get the extra radius on the roots, the extra duration, just making the entire entangling root ability a little bit more dangerous. But we have seen before against Rhaegar by Dignitas, Strangling Vines, just trying to take away a bit of that healing power that the ultimate holds. And that's something that I want to watch out for if Smexy commits to it or if he goes for more zoning. On my side, I'm going to be watching KT. With the Mana Addict at level 1, this talent in general got buffed dramatically with the latest changes of the regen glows, being able to finish that earlier and grab that shield, which makes KT a little bit more tankier than you would think. DAB getting caught out of position there, walking into a trap, and Fnatic showing off their trademarked ability to concave on a target and take them out, gets the first kill of the game. Yeah, and Breeze opening up these opportunities. We talked about his ETC and how strong he is, and ETC in particular is a hero that really also excels on these maps. There's a lot of great avenues where you can jump onto a lane with him and just create that pressure, and Greymane fell victim to it. So well done by Fnatic opening this up, also getting a first tower here, which nets them a lead in experience. One of my favorite things about Breeze's ETC, as we continue to talk about his ETC, is whenever he gets into an engagement, he's always coming in from a flank on the side where he's behind a target. This always allows him to power slide back into his team. I think it was Jayhow who first actually mentioned that to me and showed a situation where that was occurring and how many times ETC plays like that, and ever since that, I've noticed he's always been aggressive, getting behind a target and then power sliding back if he gets in trouble, which makes him much more effective as a tank player. Yeah, he does that a lot. You can actually watch it on his personal stream as well when he uses that, and especially in... We're looking, of course, at an environment where everyone is normally on the same page. These teams are connected via voice, so they talk to each other constantly and talk about positions. But in an uncoordinated environment, like Hero League, for example, when you see him use the hero there, it's really impressive how much of an influence he can have in such a game. But in the match that we're having at hand now, we have the early camp taken by Leftovers, so they're trying to get additional value out of the Knight here. Fnatic reacts with an immediate rotation into the mid lane to make sure that they can push that back and don't suffer too much damage on those towers. And it was a pretty successful one at that. A good move by both teams actually here. Fnatic brings all 5 members to the middle to help clear out that Knight camp because it is a priority. It's one that you have to respect. But Leftovers, realizing that and noticing that more teams are bringing all 5 to the middle, clear out the Giants on the bottom side and get that pressure to push in. Again, pulling Leoric's attention down the bottom, which allows for them to come drop a few gems off. Also with the question that we asked earlier, Malfurion committed to the deep root, so Smexy is currently favoring the zoning aspect of Malfurion with his level 4 talent and putting that into play. Also, of course, making it easier to follow up on either the Gravity Lapse from Mena on Kael'thas or Breeze on ETC. For now, Lobber is hoping to get another turn-in. It won't be enough to net them a turn-in, as they'll need a few more gems from another member on the team, but still. Demanding the attention of Breeze to be around this area is Lobber, while Chromie and crew set up for another clear in the middle. Yeah, but Benny moving into the middle here as well, and here comes the root again. The immediate follow-up by Mena, but a bit outside of the range, doesn't hit Linked. So Rhaegar is able to stay in the back and stay safe for now. But that also leaves Artanis solo at the bot lane. So Leoric is making his way back onto lane. Breeze needs to be careful. He's able to move out. Just always holding back that power slide cooldown. And Mena just poking from the outside, making sure that Lauber does not complete that turn-in. And I do like you mentioning also that Artanis being in the bottom solo constantly. Ooh, hang on here. Quacknix takes a big chunk from Chromie. Can Link get the kill? He's going for it, but he gets baited
into the team of Fnatic. They turn around and try to take him out. He survives just barely, but he's low on mana and health.
I actually think they could have gotten the kill here if Breeze played this a bit differently. I think he went in a little bit early for that because he wanted to make sure that Junkrat gets out, but it felt like Junkrat was already safe, and if he body blocks a bit before he makes the slide, I think they could have maybe gotten the kill there.
Always fearful of those butt bites, though. Gotta be careful of that chunk of damage that comes in from Rhaegar. I can see why he was a bit advantageous to save the Junkrat. Turn-in comes in for the leftovers, and they will actually earn their first turn-in against Fnatic.
Yeah, they're doing well so far. They have a decent position here. And at this point now, if they play their cards right and take down a few of these walls, they can get a lot of value out of this. And maybe even enough of an experience need to get farther towards that second turn-in. But Fnatic, defending at the bot lane already, is now moving into the middle to burn the Web Weavers down here. Quacknix with Junkrat is able to get a huge amount of AoE play here against the Wave and the Web Weaver in particular.
And I really like how the team is working together. Leftovers, Potibus realizing this 2 bottom does not do anything on Artanis. A lot of the mistakes that Artanis make is that they try to go in and force a fight, and they think they're safe in a 2v1, which to a degree you can be okay if you're not auto-attacks in, but you are vulnerable to a gank that comes your way. What he did instead was sit in the bush, make sure to choke experience, but yell out to his team, okay, I have 2 in the bottom lane, I can keep them here if they rotate, and that allowed Greymane to push on the top, grab the turrets, and get them experience lead.
Yeah, and they have exactly that. And also another tower here in the middle is incredibly low. So that's the early level 9 for them if they want it. Half level lead right now for the leftovers. And Fnatic has now a window where they need to try and get their own turn in. Here comes Chromie with the old Temporal going straight for Breeze. He's able to move out for now, but Loba is already on his heels trying to set up Chromie for another quick kill here with the slow. And the hit connects, but Breeze is still safe and got healed up by Smexy already.
I like the attempt, but I kind of wished it was a different target. ETC, when it comes to Temporal Loop, is one of the hardest targets to actually get a kill on. Right before the Temporal Loop pulls that target into you, he can just drop groupies, and he gets the automatic resistance that's built into his trait, and it's much harder to blow him up. Even Greymane and Chromie just can't get that full fight in, especially the Malfurion on the back defending.
Oh, the roots! Rhaegar immediately made it with a follow-up again. Link, does he get out this time? It does not look likely. And there we go, the kill confirmed against Rhaegar, and Fnatic, just as level 10 is around the corner for the leftovers, is able to get a crucial kill.
And without Temporal Loop being up, Fnatic is able to move forward and grab the level 10. They're a little bit behind on their opponents, but still in a solid spot. A few more gems are needed for leftovers to get the turn-in they want if they want to go for that double turn-in that we continue to talk about here at HGC Europe. But Fnatic, as soon as they hit 10, they move for a turn-in.
Yeah, and they have a lot of gems here, but Benny is holding 40 and we have 26 on Breeze. Lauba is trying heavily to interrupt this, but he needs to be careful. Even with Johanna, you need to be a bit cautious if you're there alone. Temporal Loop again, this time against Smexy, and he's down. Malfurion kill, great move by Kidney here. And leftovers, they get the first kill for their team in this, but the double entomb.
Fnatic trying to turn it around here. DAB is able to sneak out. A big swap maybe coming in. No Potibus. Not able to have it available for him. Breeze does get away. Low on health, but healthy with 30 gems. Mana Addict does finish up for KT, and with a Web Weaver push coming in, the leftovers have to turn their attention to clearing.
I like the aggression from the leftovers a lot. Going in there, they dropped a lot of resources for this, and Fnatic, they held back, first of all, of course, the ult on Malfurion as he died early. He was the initial target, and then also the mosh pit. So they have still a few cooldowns that threaten aggression as they are pushing in at the top lane. But overall, the leftovers, a huge lack of respect here, just saying, hey, we're here to play, we're not here to be pummeled into the ground by you.
Yeah, and I love their game plan. They have a 1-2 punch set up. They have the Temporal Loop from Chromie attempting to blow up a target, and if they get the target, Artanis, Potibus, is going to swing in every time and look for a swap. They believe if they get one target killed immediately, with an Artanis swap, they can kill another right afterwards. And that's their plan. They've done it twice now in an attempt. They've gotten one kill once on the Malfurion, and we'll see if they can pull it off later as the game progresses.
Yeah, overall, it's just leftovers attempting to exploit the lack of cleanse on the side of Fnatic. And so far, that worked out against Malfurion once, so Smexy has to be careful with his positioning here for sure. He's going to be a primary target, as is Mene, whenever they can get close to him. And it's just all about trying to get that second turn in now. They have both enough gems for it, and especially Breeze is currently still holding 31, Bad Benny on 38 here, so both of them with a huge amount of gems at that front line.
I would like Leftovers to try and force an attempt now before that Ice Block does come online for that Malfurion, because the blow up on Malfurion will be much harder to pull off then. So, one level away for that. So Leftovers is sharking around, trying to find it. Leo's not a correct target. Wraithwalk will be too hard, and ETC with his ability to save himself isn't a target either. We'll see what the Leftovers attempt to do, though, as they continue to dance around the bottom side.
Yeah, and the important part is that Poryboss was severely damaged here. He lost a huge chunk of his hit point pool that forces him back to the Nexus.
Oh,
here comes the combi attempt. Chromie with a temporal loop, and there comes the potential kill. Breeze instead of just killing her, goes for the mosh pit, wants to also make sure that Rhaegar cannot help her out anymore here. And that's the kill confirmed, as they are trying to make it a double. Lauber in trouble and moving away, but there is just opponents on every angle around every corner.
Big pickup there from Quatnix, being able to bring that Chromie into the fight, and then the follow-up from Breeze. Wonderfully done here, as 2 kills will go into the favor of Fnatic, and they immediately move straight in for another turn-in. And they're already primed for possibly another one afterwards when they get through this Web Weaver phase if they pick up enough gems. Fnatic stops the main appeal of Teamfight for Leftovers, gets some kills, and continues to stride forward.
Min, on the other hand, is in a lot of trouble right now, trying to go for a potential counter kill here at least. DAB goes down first. Min is still alive, but for how long? That's the question. Can they get the double? Poryboss is low, gets the shield, but they are focusing on Linked on Rhaegar first, and they get him with the root. It's a triple kill as Adonis dies as well. Job well done here. Fnatic with a 3-for-1 trade.
Great play there from Mane. I can't believe he lived that long. The Mana Act really helping out, him hitting the Gravilapse as well. And then the rotation from Fnatic just earns them a wonderful spot. Look at this. Top, middle, and bottom will all be pushed in. Fnatic should be able to get some force off of these kills, and they got to be happy with that trade.
The gem count alone is crazy now. The Kidney still holds 20, but Leftovers lost a fair chunk of gems at that bottom engagement, and Fnatic already has a solid lead in experience, which is only going to increase now after they move in through the bot lane or through the mid lane here as well. The bottom keep, or bottom fort, has already been taken down. Here comes again the attempt to take down Breeze. Not successful just yet. Benny moving away with the Wraithwalk.
Junkrat's Tire comes in on the side.
Oh.
Artanis is in trouble. There's going to be the Entomb. He'll Blade Dash to try and get a shield up. The shield does pop, but can he survive? Ancestral Healing will help out. Kilthos getting hit with the laser. Going to be a big swap, though, on the side that Breeze turns into a mosh pit, grabbing a few members, but Leftovers still have 5. They want kills.
3-man mosh. Breeze is low. Has 34 gems, tries to move away. Benny also on the run, and he falls. 22 gems in his possession have now been taken away. The big problem is during the entire time there was a push at the bot lane, and that push got the keep.
The Leftovers happy with the kills, but you're right, losing that keep does not feel as good. Gonna be able to clear that up. They do have a total of 40 gems, so they have a turn-in, but can they do much with it?
Not really. The level 16 talent that we have for Fnatic should really help them to defend against this quite easily. They buy themselves a bit more time, but losing the bottom keep is a massive problem. The fight itself was great, and that they had the ability to take down the 2 and take a few of the gems away from Fnatic was important, but losing the keep is a lot of trouble, especially since it is the bottom keep that will later on allow Fnatic to make plays for the boss at the top lane. And Leftovers will have to react eventually to the bottom lane pressure. And that's always a huge issue.
Something to note here, if you're an Artanis main at home, all 3 of you, there is an adjustment to the normal build that you normally see on the Artanis.
That exists?
That exists. The Phase Bulwark picked up at level 13, and this is actually a great pickup because of Kel'Thas and Junkrat. It was recently buffed a couple of patches ago, and it's actually wonderful to pick up. A lot of people still aren't moving into it. They still pick up Triple Strike and even the Graviton Surge. But you see here, Poryboss is using it to great effect. Not being able to kill it off, he's able to grab those shields later.
Leftovers with a bit of a later turn-in now, and they are close to 16. Here comes an Entomb against Artan. It's very unlikely that they're going to get the kill here, so maybe a bit premature from Bad Benny to drop the ult there. But in the meantime, we have those Web Weavers move through the mid and top. Question just is, how much can the Leftovers get out of this? They have 16 now, so that at least allows them to push with the objective without being afraid of a team fight.
And a push with a Chromie having Temporal Loop is a scary push indeed. Can they find the target they want? KT is playing safe, respecting that Temporal Loop, while Leoric clears on the top side. And Fnatic may be alright with just go ahead and losing out on this fort in the middle. It's not too big of a deal to them. Dying is a little bit more risky than just losing a fort.
Yeah, so they play this extremely safe. They had Leoric at the top lane. The rest of the team was simply attempting to defend the middle. Losing forts is okay in their game plan right now. They just need to make sure that they hold their keeps. And as we said before, another turn-in for them would be great. Making a play for the boss is always an option when the bottom lane pushes through. So time is currently also working in their favor. Leftovers, on the other hand, they are currently trying to get a fight.
Psionic Boom for the 16 for the Artanis. I love this talent. Normally you see the Titan Killer to burn down tanks, but he doesn't need it here. He just wants to get the armor reduction on a target he gets for 2 seconds. It's a 25 reduction in armor. So, if he's able to have a Temporal Loop come out, go into a strike on one target, and the team focuses that target, them having reduction armor could be a kill right away for Leftovers. I like the idea, the build around their entire composition of picking one target and trying to take them out.
Yeah, especially with Artanis ult, the pressure that he was able to put onto Mene, for example, on Kalthas, that really showed in these team fights. Kalthas, by the way, with the Fury of the Sunwell now on 16, really is a great tool for additional interrupts and, of course, also increased damage output. Fnatic still try and go for the Campy, and they get it just as Loba starts to move in. He gets caught by Mene and the Gravity Lamps, but in the meantime, the Entomb hits 3, and Bad Benny goes in immediately. Here comes a quick Ancestral. Already Artanis pulling his own ult out. Chromie is low and about to fall to the Riptire. There's the kill as Fnatic is starting to chase.
Yes, they are, and they're going to get a lobber. There he is. Potibus trying to escape, but he is being slowed down by that pesky Leoric, as Leoric goes in for DAB as well. If Smexy gets the root on Artanis, he's dead. There's the root. There's the attack. Potibus turns around. The shield might be able to save him. Nope, just kidding. Mene says no. Linked also getting focused in the back left with the Wolf one, trying to get out of here, but it will not be too easy for him to escape. Maybe, actually, as the rest of Fnatic just run to the bottom.
Yeah, they want to go for the core here. So while Bad Benny is chasing Rega across the map, Fnatic has simply decided to end the game right here. It's another 7 seconds until Chromie is back and the core is already falling. DAB can't go in right now. He's trying to find an angle for Mene, but once he commits to this, there will be a Gravity Lapse, and Fnatic just decides that it's time to right-click. This is going to be the end of game number 1. Kalthas is down, but the core still falls, and Fnatic takes the first victory in the series.
That Entomb towards the end, landing on 3 members, while impressive. The big part was the Ominous Wraith coming in and preventing any damage from being allowed to come out from the Leftovers, which allowed Junkrat and, of course, KT to move forward and to start applying the damage in the fight and eventually win it so they can go on towards the core. Gotta say, though, Potibus, in a situation that I thought Artanis would just completely fall flat, he held his own.
Yeah. You already have your favorite player on the team, right?
I already have him. I like his build, too. You know, Phase Bulwark, straight into the Psionic Wound. I've always been a fan of Psionic Wound, but someone actually pulling off in a competitive play, even though they didn't win, thumbs up.
There's the way to win Tim's heart.
There you go. My heart is now yours. I have to share it with 2 people, my girlfriend and now Potibus.
She's going to be very happy about that statement.
She's got video games. She'll be all right. All right, guys, let's go ahead and check out these roster swaps as they continue to come in for our teams. Fnatic with their own changes lately. We continue to try to update you here at the HGC. Bad Benny and Mene are now a part of Fnatic. Recently released Schwimpy and Wubby, who both have gotten victories this weekend on their new rosters.
Yeah, both of them looking very, very strong with the new rosters, and Bignitas, for example, has talked about how they feel and Method is going to be one of the top teams in this first phase as well, and they're going to play against them soon, so that should be a pretty big highlight next week. Right now, Fnatic, on the other hand, looking strong. The 1-0 on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Leftovers definitely putting up a fight here, especially in the early game. But so far, still without a map win in HGC Europe.
Still love to see it, though. A team coming out, knowing that they're the underdogs, and yet bringing the fight to the big team. The Temporal Loop Artanis swap idea was a clever one, just one that didn't pan out as well. Fnatic just too good of a team at preventing that from being too effective. But love to see it. Going into game number 2, more linear drafts. I want to see what Leftovers have in store here for their opponents and see if they can earn 1 win. 1 win for them in this best-of-5 series is a huge achievement.
Yeah, exactly.